Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
If you are navigating this crazy, fast-paced world juggling work, family, maybe it's just trying to keep up with everything, you know the feeling.
Oh, yeah.
That frustrating, just slow-motion crawl of mental overload, the dreaded brain fog.
It's the exact opposite of peak performance, isn't it? I mean, we're all aiming for mental clarity.
Right.
That state of, razor-sharp focus, quick decision-making, clear thinking. But modern life sometimes feels like it's specifically engineered to stop that from happening.
And our sources today make a really strong case that, while diet and sleep are critical, we might need some backup. The market is just flooded with supplements that all claim to be the secret.
Wishful marketing, a lot of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you know which ones are supported by actual science?
Well, that's our mission for this deep dive. We're getting into the research on these common brain-boosting supplements. We need to synthesize the data, right? Understand how they work, identify the real scientific backing, and figure out which ingredients actually move the needle for improving cognitive function, and maybe even supporting long-term brain health.
And just as important, we need to understand why we get foggy in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, is it just being tired? Or is something deeper going on?
It's so much deeper than just fatigue. Our sources point to things like poor diet, chronic stress, a sedentary lifestyle, and they all lead to nutrient deficiencies, and this is the big one, inflammation.
Inflammation?
Yeah, inflammation is the primary disruptor of your neurotransmitter function. When those brain cells are under siege, your focus just dissolves.
Okay, let's unpack this then. If we're looking for foundational support, the stack of sources we went through put one category right at the top. They called it the absolute cornerstone of brain health, omega-3s.
And that's a designation they've really earned because they are essential fatty acids. Your body just can't make them efficiently. You have to get them from your diet.
And we're talking specifically about EPA and DHA.
Exactly. EPA and DHA.
So I know they're important, but what are their actual jobs? What do they do once they get to the brain?
Okay, so think of DHA, that's docosahexaenoic acid, as like the structural engineer.
Cool.
It's a primary component. I mean, it literally makes up the cell membranes of your brain cells. So if you don't have enough high-quality DHA, those membranes get less fluid.
So it's the communication system. If the membranes are stiff,
Yeah, and then it's like trying to run an Ethernet cable through, I don't know, thick sludge.
right?
Communication slows right down, and efficiency just grinds to a halt.
That's a powerful visual. Okay, so what about EPA?
EPA is the bodyguard.
Yep.
Eicosapentaenoic acid, it has these incredible anti-inflammatory properties. So when we talk about brain fog being linked to inflammation,
EPA is the firefighter.
it steps in and cools that inflammation down, reducing the harm that leads to cognitive decline. You really need both of them working together.
That makes perfect sense for long-term health. But I did notice a little divergence in the clinical trials we looked at. Some sources were saying that while omega-3s are vital for preventing, deficiency-related issues, they don't give this massive cognitive boost to healthy young people who are already eating well.
That is an excellent point. It really highlights the nuance here. For someone already getting tons of it from fatty fish like salmon or sardines, the extra gain might be smaller.
Right.
But the research is just undeniable for people who are deficient or who need support for mild cognitive impairment. In those trials, you see real improvements in memory, cognition, even mood. So it's kind of an insurance policy at the very least.
Exactly. Okay, so structure and defense are covered. But the best structure in the world still needs power. Let's shift to the fuel, the B vitamins.
Ah, the powerhouse trio. B6, B9, which is folate, and B12. They're essential for, every cell function, but in the brain, they're absolutely crucial for producing the energy needed for neurotransmission.
And the sources pointed to a really specific mechanism here, something about B vitamins and brain aging.
Correct. They help manage your homocysteine levels. See, when B vitamins are low, this amino acid, homocysteine, it can build up. And that is cited as a major risk factor for brain aging.
So by getting enough B vitamins, you're actively lowering that risk.
You're promoting long-term brain maintenance. Absolutely.
And given that, B12 absorption can decline so much as we age, and certain diets can lead to deficiencies, supplementation here almost feels less like a choice and more like a necessary correction for a lot of people.
It really is, especially for older adults. Making sure you have a high-quality, bioavailable form of B vitamins is one of the quickest ways to see a real improvement in attention and memory.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me.
Yeah.
Let's move beyond basic energy to the ingredients that directly, modulate our cognitive state. We're talking about the amino acids, L-tyrosine and L-theanine.
These are the precursors. They're what the brain uses to manufacture those chemical messengers that govern mood, focus, motivation.
Right, dopamine, serotonin.
Exactly. So they provide very targeted support, especially when your brain is under pressure.
I always connect L-theanine with tea, that feeling of calm, centered focus. How does it actually do that without making you drowsy?
L-theanine is fascinating. It works by promoting alpha brainwaves.
Alpha waves.
Yeah, alpha waves are what you see when someone is in a relaxed but alert state. Think meditation or deep creative work. It literally smooths out the neural activity.
I find this so relatable. It explains why my morning coffee with a bit of green tea feels so much cleaner than just a double espresso. It seems like the L-theanine kind of buffers the caffeine.
You just hit on the key synergistic effect. When you take it with caffeine, L-theanine reduces the jitters and that awful crash later on, which leads to much better, more sustained cognitive output.
And L-tyrosine is more for when you're under acute stress.
Right, precisely. L-tyrosine is the stress buffer. When you are mentally exhausted or super stressed, your body just burns through its dopamine and norepinephrine. L-tyrosine helps replenish those stores fast.
So you can maintain focus even when your brain is screaming for a break.
That's why it's so valuable for stress-induced brain fog.
Okay, let's pivot to the natural world. Our sources covered some incredible herbal extracts, things that have been used for centuries but are now being validated by science.
And they all offer these unique angles of attack. So you take ginkgo biloba. It's famous because it focuses mainly on the plumbing of the brain. It increases cerebral blood flow.
So better circulation means more oxygen, more nutrients, which should improve processing speed and memory.
Exactly. Then you have the true adaptogens, like rhodiola rosea. Adaptogens don't just target one thing, they help the whole system adapt to stress. Rhodiola is especially good at reducing mental fatigue.
But the prize for the most, revolutionary mechanism of action has to go to the lion's mane mushroom.
Oh, it is truly unique. While most supplements we've talked about support existing brain function, lion's mane has been shown in studies to stimulate something called nerve growth factor, or NGF.
That's huge. So it's not just about supporting the cells, it's about regeneration.
That is the critical takeaway. NGF is a protein that's vital for the maintenance, survival, and even regeneration of neurons. By encouraging NGF activity, lion's mane isn't just treating symptoms, it may actively support creating new neural pathways. It's in a different class.
Okay, so that's structure, energy, communication, and repair. Now let's talk defense, the cleanup crew.
This brings us to the key antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. So here we're grouping things like curcumin from turmeric, resveratrol, and CoQ10.
We hear about antioxidants all the time for general health. Why are they so critical specifically for the brain?
Well, the brain is incredibly metabolically active. That means it generates a ton of cellular waste or free radicals. That leads to oxidative stress, which just accelerates the aging of brain tissue.
Nice.
These compounds protect those delicate cell membranes and support healthy blood flow. They're basically the brain's quality control system.
So, what does this all mean? We've built this fantastic, evidence-based shopping list. But the sources were also super clear that in the supplement industry, quality is everything. How does someone listening make sure they're choosing a product that will actually work?
This is probably the most important practical takeaway from all of this. I mean, you are just wasting your money if you ignore quality. First, check for clinical doses.
Right.
A supplement that lists 50 milligrams of omega-3s, when the studies show benefits start at 1,000 milligrams. It's useless.
And how do we make sure what we swallow actually gets into our bloodstream?
That's the second critical point, bioavailability. Especially with B vitamins, you need the bioavailable forms. For example, some people can't process folic acid. They need methylfolate.
Got it. And what about the ultimate stamp of approval?
Third-party testing. You want products that are independently verified for purity and potency. This ensures the label isn't lying, that it's free of contaminants like heavy metals, which is a big concern with fish oils. We just have to be critical consumers.
That is a rock-solid checklist. So to summarize, what we found is that these supplements are powerful tools, but they aren't miracle cures that let you skip sleep or eat junk food, right?
Not at all. They support your natural brain function when they're combined with a healthy lifestyle. They make sure the building blocks and protection are in place.
And when you use them correctly, the goals are pretty clear. Reduce brain fog, improve focus and recall, and proactively support your brain cells as you age.
Exactly.
If we circle this all the way back to our initial talk on stress, the sources made a really compelling point that chronic stress is basically an accelerated aging mechanism for the brain.
Yes, because it constantly depletes those crucial neurotransmitters and just ramps up inflammation.
So here's the provocative thought we wanted to leave you with.
When you start a regimen of these high-quality targeted supplements like the L-tyrosine for stress or the anti-inflammatory omega-3s, how much of your cognitive gain is coming from the nutrient input versus how much is coming from just stopping the massive cognitive drain that's caused by a stress-induced deficiency?
It totally changes how you view the problem, doesn't it? It's not just about adding power. It's about plugging the leak.
Absolutely. Think about that. But remember our final caveat. Always consult a healthcare professional before you start any new regimen, especially if you're taking other medications.
Protect those brain cells, everyone. And thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.